Hey guys, Carrie here. So this is the XP video. If you were following my walkthrough, then this is what we're going to use to get the Haggler perk. By now you should have a lot of Elixit bags. Maybe along the way following that walkthrough you found some regular natural Elix. But most importantly you should have a ton of potions, something similar to mine, maybe more. Maybe you got some of those small drinks as well, that'd be great. Well, we're going to start by just chugging all of those potions down. Not the small ones though. If you have those, save them. And I'm over here at the castle, and we're going to go see Eva. So she's just right inside here. And before we actually speak to her, let's just go ahead and spend some of those level ups. So for your points, we're going to be playing with intelligence and cunning first, and then we're going to touch on dexterity. So you should have 45 intelligence and 48 cunning. At that point, we're now going to speak with her, and we're going to go ahead and learn the Haggler level 1. We can take cheap learning level 1 as well, because that will help. And then the attribute points, we're going to buy that to level 3. So that's going to give us 30 more points now that we can spend. So now let's go back over to our attributes. And then we're just going to go ahead and knock our cunning up to 55, dexterity to 25, and intelligence to 52. So at this point, I did have to drink one small Elix drink to become level 8. I used those additional points to get me to 55. And where did she go? There we are. So now I can also afford level 4 of the attribute points for 10 more points, and I can also buy just the skill called attribute, which gives you an additional point every time you level up, which we're going to be doing at the end of this video, so make sure you grab that. So now I'm able to get to cunning 60, 55 intelligence, and 25 dexterity. Those are the stats you're going to want. Before we leave, make sure you grab level 2 Haggler, so now we can rip off those merchants and start making a profit. So now I head over to Mick. He's just over in the crater from my last video. He's the merchant I like to use. So I'm going to go ahead and sell him a bunch of bags and buy them back using the Haggler until I have about 4,000 Elixit on me. At that point, I came to the Berserker camp looking for this traveling merchant, the outlaw guy. You can find him in a lot of different places, mainly around the towns. So the reason we're over here is because he sells 20 hand grenades, and you'll need 4,000 Elixit to buy them all. So once you've done that, when you open up your map, you can now see him forever walking around as a traveling merchant icon. But anyways, now that we have the grenades, we are going to head over to the Dome Ruins. As in my walkthrough video, I mentioned there was an item over here that Crazy Craig has that I didn't feel like we were ready to grab. So we're going to run in and grab that now, if you guys haven't done so yet. So I make a save just in case I die, but it's pretty straightforward. 20 grenades is more than enough to take him on and some of the Reavers. So there he is with the shotgun. He's sometimes out front or inside this little bunker, but you want to just try and corral all of the Reavers around him. So when you're spamming the grenades, you can hit multiples with them just to conserve ammo. One just went through the map. That was weird. But yeah, in just a minute or two, you should be able to make short work of Crazy Craig. Pick off anyone else nearby, just because then it won't let you open up his chest if you are in combat. And then yeah, we grab the key off his body. Chest is right in his bunker here. And that's where we're going to find the Survival Artist specialization, which is going to give us 10 more points into dexterity. So at this point I came back to Mick, and it was finally time to learn some chemistry with him. However, after getting level 1, I no longer met the dexterity requirements. So using those two, or the one modifier and the specializer, we can now equip those, and now we have 45 dexterity. So using our newfound dex, we can essentially get level 3 here of the chemistry stat. And then once we've bought it and locked in, we now have it. So you can take off the modifier, the specializer, and you'll still keep the chemistry. So that's pretty sweet. So at this point, now it was time to dupe up a bunch of money with Mick. So that took quite a while. I think I was here for about 10-15 minutes. So I'm sitting around 50-some thousand, it looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and say that's enough to move forward. So at this time, I'm going to head back over to the Berserker camp. There is a little bar right here, this building. Looks like our traveling merchant is in there right now. So we're going to pop in, say hello. And the bartender, this guy, he's my go-to man. He's got the water that we need for the small Elixit drinks. He's got wine for the medium. And if you did want large for some reason, moonshine. He's got it all. So once you buy those from him, there's actually a bed right outside that we can rest at. So that one's super close by. It just needs one rest, one full day cycle. So typically just sleeping till morning will reset him. And then he'll still be able to sell you the wine, water, and moonshine. So go ahead and buy that until you have about 100 or more of the waters and wine. I don't really see why you'd want a ton of moonshine. I feel like the skill points I always have too many of, rather than not enough. And now we're going to head over to the depot. So we're going to talk to this guy, Nox. He is the Elix merchant in the Alb depot. And yeah, you just ask him to buy Elix. Oh, but wait, he needs a special permit, so conversation's over. Well, if you head over to this building right here, going through this door, I guess first, door on the right, this is the lab bench, so that's where we're going to make our potions at. And then the last room on the left, this one right here, it's got a safe. We're just going to break inside, and sitting right there is the special permit. So yeah, since we're close by, we've got Brax right outside here. It's worth speaking to him once. You can accept his quest, but you don't actually have to see it through, and then he's a merchant. So if you'd like, you can go ahead and buy 23 natural elix from him. And every day he'll reset with 8, so we won't see him again, because Nox is way better. So now that we're speaking with Nox with the special permit, we can now buy from him. And he's got a lot of goodies. So go ahead and buy everything that's blue. We've got some extra potions. He will sell 65 natural elix and then 25 every time we revisit him. And then he has all of the recipes we need. So go ahead and buy all of those. And then I'll show you guys the bed that I like to use. It's super close by. It's the building right behind him. So yeah, right in here, same thing as with the bartender there. We just do one rest, so one sleep till morning. And then when you jog back to Nox, he'll be able to sell you 25 more natural elix. So you can do this as many times as you'd like until you run out of money, and then dupe up some more money. So over here at the lab bench here, I spent all of my money doing that, and it looks like it's going to let me either craft 61 of the medium elix drinks for 61 attribute points, or I could use that on the small elix drinks. Now, if you're a low level like me, somewhere around 7 to 10, you're going to want to make these first. And the reason there is just because every time you level up, you're going to get 10 points from it, and then with the skill we bought, you're going to get an additional point each time. So this should actually put you at over 100 points in the end. So when you do end up doing that, let's talk about using the medium potions for a second. So let's say afterwards you want 100 levels. Well, it's going to cost you 90,000 Elixit. So that's not too bad if you do the exploit for 1,000 every exchange. 100 bottles of wine, you know exactly where to find it. It's cheap, so that's great. 1,000 natural elix. Now that's pretty big, but is it? It's actually only 40 trips to Nox. So realistically, if you spend just under an hour here, whenever you want, you could grab 100 more attribute points. So just to show you here with the small drinks, I crafted all 123. I think I already had a few as well. So I'm going to go ahead and drink all of those. And as you can see there, I now have 114 points. So I'm just going to go ahead and play around with those just for fun, see where I land. And yeah, level 18, and my stats are looking pretty boosted. And you can just rinse and repeat that as much as you want. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I have a few more Elix 2 videos planned, so if you like what you're seeing, then hopefully I see more of you. Thanks guys. See you later.